Good morning. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and welcome to our Tuesday home yoga practice. Thank you all for your understanding last week, and hopefully if you're connected with us on all kinds of mediums, maybe you've participated in our survey. So I've put out a survey asking about our virtual experience, as well as about figuring out ways to safely return into some sort of in-person environment. So for now, let's stay in the now and come into our practice. This is a practice to help us feel our way into making our practice at home, because even if you do return into any sort of in-person studio environment, the practice will never be yours if you don't start to make it yours. So let's come on into being in our bodies and connect in with our minds, and hope that whatever it is we get to learn and feel and connect with on our mat will help us when we're off the mat into the world. So come on in. Feel free to say hello. You all know that I'm a big fan of saying hello, whether you're joining us by subscribing on our YouTube channel or whether you're following us on Facebook. Love to hear from you. Love to know what it is that you want more out of your practice and what your practice has done for you in your life, whether it's a physical level, whether it's a mental level, or all together. All right, I want to start today myself standing. I've been in a lot of sit meditation, and my low back is really talking to me. So, and I know some of us are sitting a lot, so standing right now feels really good. So I'm just going to start to connect in with my physicality by making a choice to start standing. Your legs could be together or apart. Maybe open the toes, flare them and place them down. Come into being aware of our legs holding us upright. Further coming into the body by bringing attention to our senses. What can I see? What can I hear? Good morning. I see someone is saying good morning. I took my glasses off. Darn, Belinda. And even though I made a big setup, I have a big screen. I kind of still need my glasses. So, hi. All right. Feeling our being as a being. Notice any urge to move. What isn't okay about standing still? Feel and notice anything that's really happy to be still. What's unpalatable about go right now? And just observe, that's where my mind was. Can you follow your mind with intention? And then let's lengthen the arms. Feel the lift. What muscles, what areas of the body are you aware of? Maybe feel the shoulders up and down. Good morning. Feeling our joints, feeling our skin. And a gentle side bend. I told you that my low back is aching. And you know what? I helped my next door neighbor because the plows had made, a big mound at the end of his driveway. Let's gradually come up. Yep, and I started helping chip that out manually yesterday. Exhale, because we knew it was supposed to freeze overnight. And we didn't want to chip through it as a solid block of ice. So that is what's going on with my back. And I'll bring myself up and feeling lifting, which I really wasn't feeling when I was shoveling. And coming forward, feeling the body. And just the simplicity of being in a body, elongating and folding, and roll the spine back up. Now I'm going to take a moment and not be rude and come up and say, hi Pamela, and hello Roxanne, because it's kind of rude of me to say, talk to me, and then I don't come up and say hello back. So good to see you Pamela, good to see you Roxanne. All right, let's breathe in, feeling lifting, maybe work those shoulders again. Maybe you're remembering something you did. What are your shoulders telling you? What are we learning about what we can do? And then exhale over. Now, how are we rooting in our body? What's giving us stability? Why are we not falling right now? And how much energy and attention are we putting into that? In the legs, the hips, and breathe in. Exhale over. And feel that on the other side, but then also what's stretching, what's too much, and what's moderation. How are we feeling that in our bodies? And lift. Feel the spine, the ribs, your flesh. Exhale, coming forward. Go ahead and look at those toes. Hear your senses. I'm going to turn sideways here. And when you're folding, feel free to bend the knees a little. It's a nice, soft way to gradually ask the back area, especially if we don't fold like this often. And roll the spine up. And let's see about doing this now. Just being in a body, lifting, side bending, feeling that difference, coming up and over, side bending, our rooting and our moderation, and lifting. Can you feel your senses here? See your sense of sight. What can you hear, taste, smell? Forward fold, coming forward. What can we feel in our skin? The sensation, that touch sensation. Roll the spine up. I like to touch along the way. Breath in. Exhale over. Inhale. Notice the energy that you put into lifting up. Exhale. Are you yanking or forcing the body with sudden movements? Breathing in. What are we learning about what we like and need? Forward fold. Ha. Take a breath in. Exhale, make a noise. Ha. Notice what that does to your hearing sense, maybe your sensory sense. Sensory sense. You're going to bend the knees, pull the butt back, and maybe just rest your hands on your knees and find a few cat and cows. So what does that mean? We'll round the spine and flex the spine. Now there's a lot of territory in the spine. Ooh, and my low back is definitely the area talking the most. But I also want to give attention to, the rest of the spine and the chest. So the chest in the front of the spine, the back in the back of the spine. How about the top of the spine where it meets the skull? The front of the spine in front of the throat. Are we forcing? Remember what I said about moderation? Now you all pause and stop where you need, right? I have to remind myself, don't just be doing this to demo. I have to be kind and still mindful in my body for myself because I live here. It's not just a tool for your benefit. And let's forward fold. Deep breath. Ha. Now you might wonder, what do I do with my arms, right? Well, my arms kind of find the floor, and I'm good with that. I can let them hang limp here and try to feel the weight of the upper body. I like to try to pay attention. Is my body stopping itself from folding? And do I know where that is? Is it in the middle of my back? Is it in my belly? Is it in one of my legs? Now, if I'm freely hanging, then the arms are probably coming down near the feet or the floor. You could bring your hands behind your calves to just kind of give them something to do. You could latch your fingers together, or you could just hold opposite elbows and just dangle. Check in right now. How much can you let go? So if you softened your toes and your feet, what do we get to notice about the feet? Tops of the feet, soles of the feet, ankles. What's straining? And then maybe shift into the left leg a little bit more, asking the left leg to hold you. Shifting over into the right leg, and then notice up and down the backs of those legs. What are you feeling? Is it behind the knees that feels super tight? Is there something tingly going on? Do you have no idea, but you know you're feeling stuff? And that's legit too, as we start to learn this inner terrain. That's what I call it, this inner landscape. And I'll release the arms. I'm going to roll the spine up. So I've been hanging for a minute. So rounding the spine is a gentle way to come up instead of yanking the spine up with a rigid spine. And now again, so we're in chair in the legs. And then asking for some fluid movement back and forth. How much can it bow and flex? Do you know the limit? If you're pushing the back toward the ceiling, have you hit your max point yet? Do you know? What else is going on in the rest of the body as you're feeling this? How about the breath? What are you noticing in your feet, your ankles, your eyelids? I come up with random body areas so that I notice, am I still living in my body or did I run away somewhere? And then pull the chest forward. Oh, what is the front of my body informing me right now? Hearing the sound of the breath. Am I still arching or did I stop? I'm calling myself out there. I kind of stopped. And round and roll the spine up. Feeling the legs holding me. I'm going to work the shoulders. Coming up into these upper regions of the spinal column. So the shoulders and the neck and the jaw and the chest. Sometimes because of the intensity of our thinking or the intensity of whatever stress we're under, we tend to try to lock it and control it. So the body traps all of that. The body traps our thoughts. The body traps our emotions. So right now we just kind of say, okay, body, let's set free all of that. Maybe you're feeling some heat building. Changing directions. How expressive, do the arms want to be? Do the arms want to be? Can you let your arms just have will of their own? And you just feel your senses and hear your breath. What's happening as we continue? Is there something getting fatigued? What's rooting us? Again, stopping us from falling down. This is me standing. This is me being deliberate and intentional in my arms, taking that right arm across. You could just hug the back of that arm. Some of us like to hook. That's going to give a little bit more leverage and tension across the back of this deltoid muscle and across the back of this tricep. But you could just give it a hug as well. Moderation and levels of intensity. Are we being mindful about it? Do we know we have a choice? Breath in. Exhale, revolve, revolve. Ooh. Feel your legs supporting you. Feel your waist and your hips. What's going on there? Does that area want to move? Or is it rigid? Is it aching? Now, could you take some energy and pull the upper body up? If we think about the structure, the engineering of standing upright against gravity, do you know what is it taking for your upper body to stay stacked above your bottom body? And it's not nothing. A whole lot is going on. One more breath and release. Please know too that if I'm saying one more breath, that's up to you. I'm kind of cueing myself here. Please find your way. Try a new pace. Do one extra on a certain practice. Or say, this week I'm going to do 2 more of something. Or 2 less. All right? I'm going to take the other arm across. I'm going to start with that hug. Remember what I said about touch and feeling, waking up those nerve endings. When's the last time you just did this to yourself? That's a part of our practice. And then I'm going to hook, but you could stay with the hug. I'm not going to lock those knees. Breath in. Exhale, revolving, feeling your spinal column, your belly, your organs. And now I'm going to be quiet and you notice what you're feeling up and down in your body, what bones, what muscles, what areas are connected to other areas. And you notice it because you amplify one thing and you feel an impact at another place. Feel your senses and release, coming back. And let's lengthen. How do those arms feel from that attention? Exhale over. How's the body feel now in a space that's kind of remembered. And breathe in. Could we lift taller? Is it possible? Exhale over. So in this yoga journey, we not only get to get in touch with what we want or need, and we bring ourselves up, we get to activate toward what's possible and new. Breath in, chest up. Could you look up? Could you look up and back any further without doing harm or pain in any regions of the body? And forward fold. Let's take an inhale. Exhale, make a sound. Roll the spine up. Lift the head last. Oh, what did we notice in the neck and shoulders? Shoulder rotations. All right, now as we're doing the shoulder rotations, how are your feet, your knees, and your hips supporting you? Are you wiggly in them? Are you rigid and stiff in them? I'm not going to say how to be. Just start to, I don't know. And if you don't know, squeeze the legs super tight and then let them go so that now you're familiar. I'm going to change direction in the shoulders. Or get real loose in your legs like I just did. So, okay, yeah, that's me being jelly in my legs. And find that equilibrium and then just start to know, how are they supporting me? Good. I'm going to bring the arms back behind. Now you might need a strap or a belt, right? So if you find that it's a bit much for you to try to bring those hands together, good. No struggle in the yoga. Go ahead and bring your hands together holding the strap. Find how close you can bring them together. And then we'll notice how much tension are you observing and experiencing in your arms or chest. Like, where is the limitation? And we can't even get into what's possible. First, we're just going to find out what is exactly going on. All right, I'm going to roll the shoulders back and down. Maybe lift the arms. Some of us cannot, right? We might have that much tension going on in the chest and the shoulders. So this could be enough, this downward energy. Others may be able to lift. Find that limit. Do you know where to stop without strain, even in your fingers? Now, could you grow your neck upward on your own? Could you use the muscles in your neck to kind of turtle your neck upward? Now here we're finding out the possibility. How possible is it for us to stay here and find some breaths? Being aware of the legs holding us, being rigid or too loose. Being aware of the tension and the lengthening in the upper chest and arms. And applying that intention to what's possible as far as lifting our neck area. What are we feeling? Are we feeling some ease physically? Are we feeling confusion mentally? All right, I'm feeling a little tension in my toes. So my feet were kind of going to sleep. I'm pushing too hard. So I'm wiggling the toes, freeing up that space, even coming onto the ankles. Good. That's good for me. Now I'm going to lift the arms to the best of my ability and offer the chest. And I'm not going to go to the point where I can't breathe or that I feel like I'm strangling or straining. Now push the legs on purpose into the floor. Notice the nature that you're pushing down with. Are you straining? Are you stomping? Are you getting mad? Could you soften into it and still stay in this heart lift? Have you reached your max for a calm breath? And wherever you're hitting those maxes, let's come on forward. We're all going to have a different space where that's going on. I'm going to bend my knees here. And that just took some pressure out of my legs. And let me start to enjoy some release in my upper body. And actually, my mid-back, in between my shoulder blades, is a little achy. I'm going to separate my hands on these straps. And that's helping a little bit in that shoulder area. I'm letting my head go. Nice deep breath. Making a noise. And release the arms. Ooh, feel what it feels like so far to have been in this body on purpose in this way. And rolling the spine up. Since we started standing and we've been standing here today, I think I'll just keep us standing and then I'm going to come down and we'll do down stuff and we'll just stay up for up stuff. We do have that choice. Or maybe as we transition, we'll do a little bit of flow, all right? Some yoga practices involve a lot of flow, or Vinyasa or Ashtanga practices that are just very moving, very heat generating. Others are a little more static, where you just hold one pose all day long. And I'm a person who goes in between them both, depending on what I need that day. And I hold myself accountable. If I haven't been moving, I work that cardio, get the heart up, because I want to connect to that part of my body as well. All right, I'm going to root into my left leg and ask my right leg to lift. If you need to hold something, so I've got my hand here on the wall, you could do that as well. Breathing. Now, you don't have to lift very high, but if you can, without knocking yourself over or sacrificing your root, go ahead. What's going on in that left foot? Mine, I can feel it kind of varying and seeking solid ground. It just rolled to the side a little bit. And my reactions are not real snappy. And for some of us, our reactions might be like, whoa, right? And that's all right. You're just having a reflexive. We've got to learn how to find that calm. What's heating up? I can feel my left calf muscle heating up. Breath. Now, how about as you're traveling upward, if you can, could you add that neck lift? Yep, I totally tapped the wall to keep myself up because I lifted in the neck a little too sharply, knocking myself over. Now, some of my groin muscles are starting to say, hey, wait a minute, holding this right leg, it's a lot of work. Yep, it is. Breathe. Feel your senses, your sight, your hearing, and bring that leg down. Maybe shake that left leg out. I'll breathe in, lifting, feeling the rib cage, maybe the belly and the belly button. Side bend. Ooh, what does that do to the side that was really gripping to hold us up? And bring ourselves up. How much are we living in our bodies right now? Exhale over. How good does it feel to just be able to, be a body doing body things? Breathing in, not with any deep goals, right? We're not trying to build a Mars rover. And come forward. Now by now, if you've been a practitioner who's been bending your knees, you might want to see right now. Remember what I said about possible. First, we get to do a few times through something and learn what do we want, what do we need. And maybe the body has warmed up all of its sinews and tissues that maybe you're ready to start to see what's possible. So I'm going to bring my arms to the back of my calves. Let my upper body hang and just pull gently with the arms, letting the top of the head seek the floor. And then just take a moment. Did I lose connection to all my senses? And usually if I bring my attention into my senses, it stimulates me to remember my breath and say, I'm here to be me, not to make myself into something I'm not. So just finding out what really is going on and what's possible. Like, am I lengthening or are there muscles in my body fighting and resisting? I just got a little bit of space in my low back. And I'm going to roll the spine up, observing what's going on in the muscles up and down the back. You all probably have different areas of the body that are now awakened after being stimulated with different movements. We're going to do the left leg now. Remember, you can have something to hold on to. And you can hold and kind of say, okay, I'm going to try. And you can hold. I think over here you can see like how much little adjusting that is actually going on in my body. And then I'm getting to appreciate, that gripped. Down beneath my calf gripped. These muscles can actually hold me up. And my leg's like, thank you. Breath. And I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to align, because I was kind of crossing this leg across my midline. So I was trying to, using the camera, because I have this benefit of having this camera, to be able to say, oh, what am I doing? Am I not finding a balanced, equal space in my body, or are other muscles compensating? And now that I'm here, I do have muscles over here that are like, oh, shoot. All right, I'm going to bring that leg down and lift. And I'm going to side bend on the other side. So it was my right leg here that I'd been standing on. So I'm coming over to the left. Ooh. And lifting ourselves up. Breath in. Remember about that back bend. What's rooting? What's going on in your legs? Can your belly flesh stretch? Can our awareness of that amplify? Are we feeling safe enough to do that? And then forward fold, letting our upper body go. Remembering to make a sound. Maybe touch something down in the lower part of your body. What are you conveying with your hands? And rolling that spine up. Oh, good. All right. We've worked some of the shoulders, done a little bit of, we did a little intentional neck lifting. And then we worked the upper body in the chest area. So how about a little bit of movement, or what would be considered a vinyasa? Because I feel like all systems go. The calves are a little tired and tight from all of that standing, but I've gotten to be aware that that's what goes on. So I'm going to come up to the top of my mat and say, okay, I wanted to come into my mat to connect to my body, my mind, and my spirit, and feel them as an integrated being. That yogic journey. Feel the upward lift in the body. Feel the downward root through the body without clenching. And I call that non-clenching. That's me calling my spirit forth into the body. How my spirit wants to live in my body, not in a strain. And feeling the body accept that little trust. Not little, actually. All right, so I'm going to be committed to saying I'm going to stay in movement and feel the body doing what the body does in action. Breathing in, feeling lifting. Don't go to any point of pain or discomfort. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, lifting the chest up. Perhaps your hands come to the knees or shins. Hands coming down. Step the left foot back. Back foot flat, and let's come up. Warrior one, bend the right knee, maybe lift the upper body, and then bring the hands down, step the left foot up. Listen, half flat back breath in, forward fold, breathe out. Breathe in, half flat back. Hands down, maybe to a block here. Step the right foot back. Keep that left knee over your heel. Make sure that you're feeling stable first. And then from that stability, we have the confidence to rise. Breathing in as we lift. Exhaling, hands coming down, stepping the right foot up. Breath in, half flat back. Maybe pull some of the weight out of the heels. Exhale, forward fold. Can we let the upper body go? Can we feel that weight? Half flat back. Let the body find its range of movement. Hands down, step the left foot back. Feel secure. Inhale, rising. Your hands could be to prayer. They could be overhead. And hands down, that's a breath out. Step the left foot up. Breathe in, half flat. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half flat. What's moving and lengthening? Hands down, step the right foot back. When you're ready, you don't have to come to my pace. Using an inhale to come up. Could we be in the back leg more than the front leg? Hands down. What did we get to feel in the body? Step the right foot up. Breathe in, half flat. Forward fold, let go. What do you need and what's possible? Breathing in, Lifting the chest. I'm going to step the left foot back. Are you tired? Do you need a break? Breathing in, coming up. Find stability. Be in the back leg. Exhale. Hands coming down. Listen, we'll bring the left knee down. Stepping the right knee back. Leaning forward, nipples over thumbs. Breath in. Exhale, lower down to your bellies and straighten the legs out. Breathe in as you push down with the hands and curve the chest up. Keep the belly down, shoulders back, and lower. Feel your heart beating here. Hear your breath. Feel your body on the earth, the heaviness, the density. Breathe in and lift. Remember, don't go too far. Exhale, lower, not seeking strain, and we're holding ourselves accountable for living in this body. Breathe in and lift. Feel what it wants, what it needs, then what's possible. Exhale, lower. Soften. Have you let go? Have you let go? We really know how to detect the strain. Do we know how to start to detect ease? Breathe in and lift. Exhale to hands and knees. Here we go. First time down dog. Spread the fingers wide. Middle finger aiming to the front of the mat. Pressure and weight bearing in the fingers, not just the heels of the palms. Tuck the toes, feel that stretch. The butt starts to lift, the knees could stay soft, and the spine is lengthening straight up toward the ceiling, head toward the floor. Look at your toes. Is blood circulating there? Can you ask your belly to hold you more than the arms? Can you ask your legs to hold you more than your arms? Breathe in. Exhale, bring the knees down, chest forward. Keep breathing out as you lower down. I know that's a long breath out. And breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, hands and knees, down dog. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. Your knees could be bent or you could bring those knees down. Remember, we don't want to go to the point of distress. We're honoring and respecting, cleaning house in the body. We're strengthening and nourishing the body. Breath in, tilt the butt up, press the heels back. Exhale, knees down, chest over thumbs, or in an extended plank. Lower down, same breath out. Breath in, shoulders back. You don't have to lift very high. And then we get to notice our mind versus our body. Exhale, hands and knees, down dog. Feel those palms if the wrists are tired. Could you ask your index finger to do more? How about your thumb, your middle finger? Breathe in. Exhale, knees down, chest forward. You could give up on this. You could say, I've done too calmly. Exhale, lower. Okay, practice the awareness of softness. Breath in and breath out, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe try a few shoulder rotations. Find that sometimes if I can do that, I'm not just relying on those arms. My core and my legs have to give me stability. Turning the neck left and right. Breath in. Push the butt up a little higher. Exhale. We'll bring those knees down and find our first child's pose. So I'm widening my knees. Lengthening those arms out. I'm flipping my palms because my forearms were a little tight there. I can squeeze and make a fist and straighten the fingers out back and forth as I sink in this child's pose, awakening the fingers and wrists, creating space from all of that work that we were asking them to do. Maybe some wrist rotations. Whew. And feel the whole body. Everything in touch with the floor, everything in touch with other parts of the body. Feel that contact. Notice your spine. Oh, carrying your whole nervous system. An amazing highway of sensory perception and motor action and neurons. All right, I'm going to bring my knees together. I'm going to hold my ankles or feet, or you can hold your pant legs, bringing our head as close to our knees as we can, and then gently, maybe rolling a little bit onto the top of the head. Try to draw the shoulder blades toward the ceiling and feel your neck and upper back stretching as your butt lifts. Breath in, breath out. Remember, you can moderate and do this very minimally. Start to notice whether you have a tendency to go for the burn for everything. Can you back off? And I know I have a lot of people ask, aren't I supposed to go for the burn? I'm not feeling anything. Is it that you're not feeling anything, or that we haven't waited long enough in a subtle space to notice? Draw the shoulders up and back. And maybe we'll notice that, our desire for intensity is just an expression of impatience. And slowly lower the hips down and come up. Because sometimes holding things in a more subtle fashion for a longer time, it can burn it can create its own heat, right? At least it can for me. All right, I'm going to come to sitting. Hopefully we're feeling a little warmed up from that. I know that I feel a little lubricated at least. And I'm going to bring the bottoms of the feet together after I pull my pants up. And now try to notice whether you felt the need to kind of jam those heels really close to the groin. Can you find a relatively relaxed state? And just feel the groin, all right? Now, this is our first real time where we're not relying on these legs to hold us up anymore. Instead, it's the butt cheeks and the sit bones, and the core has nowhere to hide to hold the rest of this upright, okay? The arms aren't doing it. They're not holding the upper body upright. It's the back muscles and the front of the chest muscles wrapped around this whole chest cavity that's doing it. A little bit of the pressing down of this base. So we can press those inner thighs down, see how much that wants to open. And, if you want to do what I call the I Dream a Genie arms, you could just hold this here to kind of see, is my waist holding me up? Can I? If I focus real hard, could I do it? But then I notice that I'm holding my breath. Is it possible for that area to give me containment and structure and I not hold my breath? And am I still pressing those inner thighs down? Can I live in my body this way? What gets me frustrated? What am I noticing? What am I nourishing? And tell the middle of the body, yes, you can. And thank you. Not just give me more. And thank you. All right, I'm going to keep my legs in what's called Badakanasana, or bound angle. So those hips are open. Some of us may need to put some structure down underneath of the hips because that might be a bit much, okay? So listen to where you are and give yourself support in case that's like really turning into that distress I was talking about. All right, so I'm finding a hold somewhere. And that was my dog shaking. So I've got one hand on this left thigh. My left hand is behind me, but I want to show my spine here. And I want to stay upright. Sometimes when we bring a hand behind us, we start angling the spine that way. I want to see how much I can direct myself to remain aligned bone over bones. and staying in that vertical space. Oh, revolving. Lifting the upper body and twisting. Breath in, breath out. And then if you can, we also add the pressing of the inner thighs open. How does it feel to be so open in the hips and so deliberate in this spiral? And then what's possible in the spiraling of the spine? What happens when I add the upward lift? Ooh, I get a little bit more space in my abdomen, but can you tell? Can you see what's happening? I'm starting to angle back, and even though I'm like feeling good on it, I'm like, okay, Belinda, let's come on back into the alignment and accept what is right here. Breath in, breath out. Ooh, coming around. I'm going to come forward. There's a nice little reset button. You can round the spine, or you could go for a little bit of intentional lengthening somewhere. What are the hips and the groin and the inner thighs saying? Make sure that you're not trying to impose something on your body that it doesn't want to give you. For now, it doesn't mean ever. That patience button again. And rolling the spine up. And that's definitely something that we get to develop at home alone a little bit better than in a group environment. Sometimes we feel like we need to stay with the herd, so we don't really get to feel how to vary things out for ourselves. All right, I'm going to twist in the other direction. Sometimes a block is helpful to bring the floor a little closer, and I can use that then to lift my spine upright. Breath in. Exhale, revolve from the belly button. So we're pushing the sit bones down, lifting the breastplate up, and twisting just above the belly button. If your mind is wandering or you're getting confused or frustrated, come into your senses. This is what my eyes are seeing. This is what my ears are hearing. This is what the sense of touch around my entire body is feeling. Oh, I'm going to gently release. I had like 3 pops of my vertebrae. Not that it's a goal, but I was feeling things moving there. And reset. Oh, letting that body weight come forward. Now, a lot of us don't have a lot of range of movement there. You could bring a block out in front of you or a stack of pillows, preferably a stack of pillows. Oh, but you could give yourself a prop so that then the body can rest and let something lengthen. Because if we're not supported, sometimes we're trying to force and pull, and pulling creates contraction. So it's hard to relax something and contract it at the same time. It's kind of like when you're tense or you're having an anger moment and someone just comes up to you and tells you to calm down. How does that work, right? It doesn't. Yeah, so trying to pull yourself into a relaxed state, it doesn't work. You cannot contract and have a muscle be flaccid at the same time. And I'm sorry if folks if that's a shocking word, but it is not restricted to one body area for us to use it as a description of action or inaction. Ooh, I'm going to roll my spine up. Good. All right. Now I'm going to take this left leg and I'm going to see about bringing it back behind me. Now this is going to be contraindicated for any folks who've had knee issues, knee surgeries maybe, or are waiting on a surgery. So skip this, just straighten your legs out in front of you. if your knee or hip are upset with this. Some folks, the top of that foot is super tight, okay? If you can just sit here, I'm definitely feeling a lot in my shin, a little bit in the bones in the top of the foot. Not that the bones can stretch, you know what I mean, the flesh. Inner thighs together, and I'm just sitting with this body weight breathing. But if you can't, if the knees are fine, but the ankle isn't liking it, you could roll onto the arch of that foot, okay? But I'm not going to have us go backwards here. Just sitting upright, inner thighs together. Now that may put a load on the inside of that knee. Try to ask this butt to come to the floor. And that's definitely, for me, I'm feeling a little stretch here. My left knee is like, Belinda, what are you doing? And that is because it's not accustomed to, nor does it enjoy that pressure on the knee. So I'm back here, all feeling that foot. If you can or like, my right hand is beside me here, giving me a little bit of support, and I'm coming forward. Now I'm going to stop here. These toes are flexing. There's probably more than enough intensity on the menu. We don't need to order anymore. What is the body telling you about what it wants, it needs, and what's possible? So the back of that right calf, I'm a little surprised there. So I'm just going to hold it, soften. I'm backing up a little bit. When I backed up, I feel the hamstring a little more than the calf. Letting the butt sink heavy. And when I came forward, that right leg is talking way more than that left foot. Completely forgot about the left foot now. That doesn't mean that that's your experience. Hear your breath. And come upright. And I'm going to switch. So remember I said that if we weren't doing that bent leg thing, we were just here in the legs, both legs straight. Okay? So I'm going to now switch legs. I'm just going to change my angle a little bit so that you can see it frontally. So I'm going to bring this foot. We're doing the same pose, okay? Getting ready for a version of half hero. Okay. So this is what you couldn't see when I was turned sideways, is the fact that this arm is giving me some support. That block can always give us, it's nice and handy, and if you don't have a block, you can use a stack of books, something. Back in the day, we used to have these big, massive things called the yellow pages. Those would be great. Where are they? Have they all been recycled? All right, look, sitting up. Ooh, the top of that right ankle is tight for me. And the way that you did it on one side may not be the same on the other side. So, yeah, if you have a contraindication of a knee on one side, doesn't mean that the other side might not be able to still stand to benefit from this lengthening of the shin muscle, of the top of that foot, of letting the groin, right? Because I can support myself upright here. I'm working a lot of right side muscles to keep me upright. If I let those go, whoop, I'm falling, getting to feel, those muscles have to hold me. Active in the left leg, coming forward. I'm going to keep my spine flat as much as I can. Ooh, now on that other side, my lengthened leg had been super tight. On this side, it's, the top of that right shin is telling me, don't you dare go further. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. And to me, that moment was where what I need, what I want, and what's possible, they all met each other right then. And can I stay at ease? And when I'm trying to invite ease into the body, no matter what the pose, that's that equivalent of like, invite my spirit in. To wear in my body, wear this physical body like a garment as my spirit sees fit. Let how I'm wearing this reflect, who I am at this moment, and I'm trying to be a kind, loving, and understanding person. And actually, my body just lowered a little bit. It let go of some tightening. And that requires patience to wait for when the body is ready to let go. We don't get to come into our mat and go, body, let go, now. All right, I'm going to bring this leg out in front of me. I'm going to straighten both legs. Now, for those of you who just did 2 of those forward bends, we're about to do another. Maybe go a little lighter, all right? Shaking that out, my ankle. Took some pressure, huh? And I'm going to push the backs of the legs down, be active in those legs. Sitting up, chin level. How about that lifting through the neck? And then how much am I forcing the body to be in this shape? Can I wear this shape like a garment with ease? Make it comfy. So don't try to make it into something, make it look like someone else's. That would not be you wearing your skin. That would be you trying to make your skin look like and feel like what you think someone else's feels like. All right, now I'm going to come forward, but some of you might want to use a strap. Try to remember what I said, though, about contracting and relaxing at the same time, and that they don't go together, because they don't. So when you're going to use the muscles of the arms, what could you soften? What muscles could you let go of? And so that's going to take some time and practice, because oftentimes, especially if we're new to practicing or new to nuanced practicing, all we know how to do is tighten everything. So I'm going to use the arms, use the tension of the strap. Notice I've got the elbows out to the side, slide the shoulders back. And those are the muscles I'm using. That's it. The rest of my muscles, I'm going to try to let them go. And just start with your calf muscles. And if you don't know if you've let them go, try to tighten them and then let go. Do the same with the thighs. Tighten and then let go. Check in on those arms, elbows out to the sides, pulling the top of the head toward your big toes, shoulders back. Tighten your tummy muscles like you're getting ready for a punch in the gut, and then let it go. Do that again. Tighten and let go, pulling with those arms. Tighten and let go. Hear your breath. Feel your sense of touch around your whole body. Now, what actions could you do right now to make this sustainable for 2 more breaths and find your fullest breath, testing in on what is possible in our breath? I'm going to let the strap go, rolling the spine up. And sometimes we only really feel and fully appreciate what was going on as we're coming out of something. We're emerging from something, right? And isn't that just like life? Like we don't recognize the depth of the lesson until we look back and we go, oh, wow, that was a really meaningful experience in my life. Or, oh, wow, that really was a pivotal thing that began a moment of change in my life. All right, I'm going to stop with the deep stuff and let's come on down onto our backs. Oh, a vital part of practicing changing our perspective and letting the back of the body rest onto the floor. I'm going to walk the feet in and aim my knees toward one another and let the feet go out wide a little bit. And then see if you can let the groin go. Same deal, you could squeeze inner thighs and then let that go if you're not sure if you've let go. And you can repeat that. Sometimes it takes a few times for us to get it. And then maybe relax the groin. And push the low back to the floor. And relax. Push the low back to the floor. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Keep pushing the low back to the floor. Can you breathe while you're doing this? And relax. All right, I'm going to keep the feet wide and let both knees fall to the right. Remember, you can make sounds. Being aware of being a warm-blooded mammalian creature. How does it feel to be in the body with the hip twisted this way, with the back resting on the floor, with our gaze upward to the ceiling, eyes open, fully aware? How does your body feel here, lying on the earth? And then bringing ourselves up, and we're also feeling the range of the hips and coming over to the other side. And this is that non-doing. So try not to be forcing like that inner thigh of the right leg down at all. Just let go. And again, if you're not sure, squeeze everything, because we know how to do that. And then try to let go of squeezing and just see what happens. Notice the muscles that still want to try to grip and say, wait, I'm supposed to hold something. And just use it as an experiment with fascination. Like, oh, I do that. Huh. And that's all. Not am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Right? A lot of times we bring shame into things that just, there's no need for any shame. We're just learning how we've existed in our bodies. How much we've been on autopilot, how much we're developing an awareness level of where we carry tension, where we initiate movement, and how that creates tension in some areas, how it creates an imbalance in others. And feel our desire to seek out some equilibrium. And we'll come on back to center and just let them flop side to side. Rock and rock. And again, this might be something that's contraindicated on those knee joints. Okay? And if it is, you could just bring the knees in and just go side to side. We'll just be approaching the hips in a different way. You'll just be working the spine and the core a little bit more. Oh, rather than that inward rotation of the hip flexors and across the sacrum. If any of those body areas mean anything to you. We'll walk the feet in together. Separate them, just say 3 inches apart or so, arms down alongside your waist. Don't turn your head, so if you can keep your gaze up, it'll be a nice way of protecting your neck. We'll push down through the feet and lift the hips. How many toes are you aware of helping you on this journey? Supporting you, not bunching up. Can you push the ball joint down and the heels and the sides of the feet, not the arches? Now what are your calf muscles doing, and do they need to be doing it? Do the squeeze, relax test. How about the thigh muscles? Squeeze, relax test. Here's the biggie. Butt muscles. Squeeze, relax test. Left leg, push it down on purpose and see if the right leg relaxes. And just notice how the left leg bears our support. How it's doing it, what's stretching in the process, what's fatiguing. How about right leg before we get too tired? Can the shoulders stay relaxed while we're here? How about the eyes and our view, our jaw? Both feet at the same time. Oh, what's changed about our perspective and our awareness? And lower those hips down. Let the low back come to the floor. Slowly invite the knees in toward the chest, hugging them in softly. If you can wrap your arms behind the knee joints, go ahead. You could interlace or hold a wrist. And now straighten the legs to whatever degree they want to straighten. I'm going to slide my hands up to the calves and then try to soften my back muscles. Try to soften the shoulder muscles, soften the jaw muscles. Hear the breath, feel the breath. Notice if you're rolling to the right side of your back, left side of your back. Can you reside in the middle? Can your belly soften enough to make room for that breath, that volume of air to seep into the soft, supple areas of our tissues? And I'm going to let those legs go, positioning my legs out toward the front of the mat. Now, I am comfortable today in my back in this way. If lying down flat on your back causes any discomfort to your back, you could put a rolled up blanket under your hips. Sometimes that alleviates some of the pressure. You could bring the bottoms of the feet together into that butterfly position that we did before. Maybe you need to lie on your side or on your belly. But whatever you've chosen, we're going to be in this posture, practicing this posture, Shavasana or corpse pose. It's a pose of stillness, pose of quietude, while being aware and awake. Now don't let that make you feel like, oh man, I always fall asleep here. It's cool. If that's what your body needed, we're here to integrate body, mind, spirit. And maybe the body is too tired for the spirit to remain in it in an awakened state. Maybe the body needs what it needs. And we can have some love and some gratitude for that. But if you can, eyelids heavy but eyes open. Jaw relaxed, maybe stretch the tongue and the jaw. If the neck is feeling stiff, you can rock the head left and right, just rolling on the back of the head. And then find stillness and ease. Adjusting the shoulders, feeling the weight of the arms fall away. Letting go of any pressure on ourselves about how we're breathing. Inviting a breath of relief throughout us. And feeling the bones of the spine, the hips, the groin, and the flesh around the spine, the hips, the groin. Are they working with one another or against one another? Can they trust that there's nothing to do here? Just be. Feeling your calves, knees, ankles. What can you be aware of in your ankles? The weight of them, the angle of them. Any activity in them? as you're feeling the ankles and the feet and the toes. Are you aware of that breath of relief? That breath of soothing caress? What are your ears hearing? And feel your body respond to your mind, asking different body areas to gently move, wiggle. Feel your breath and your lungs respond to your mind for a deeper, invigorating, revitalizing breath. And let's be mindful and careful as we bring ourselves upright to a seated space. I'd like to close with some mindful awareness about breath capacity. I got to spend some time with a dear friend who is I am grateful that she is still with us and is recovering from COVID, but she really wanted me to emphasize to others the importance of our yoga breathing, not only to rehabilitate from any encounter with COVID, but in preparation for. So I'm just going to do an abdominal breath and feel our inward capacity, our max capacity of intake, and then our capacity of exit. All right, so relax your belly. You want the belly to really be almost impregnated out here. So let's breathe in and let the belly really expand loose and feel its bottom point down low toward your groin. Feel its top point up toward your throat. Maybe sip a little bit more in. Exhale, press it out. Don't force it out. Just let it seep out. And then like you're pressing air out of a Ziploc, try to press more and more and more. Pressing from the belly, up, 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 and then hold. Inhale. All the way down toward your pelvic bone. Feel the belly expanding. Feel that Ziploc bag get full, like you're filling it up with water. The bottom fills first, and then all the way up to the top, 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 and the hold. Now try to relax your groin and your shoulders while you're holding. Exhale. Remember, we're pressing all of that air out of the Ziploc bag. And hold. Now let's inhale a third of the way. A third more. The final third, and fill it all the way up. The low parts of you and the upper parts. Maybe sip a little bit more in. Exhale a third. A third. All of it. Natural breath. Perhaps practice once a day some abdominal breaths, maybe 5 or 6 cycles, and then the retentions, and then the gradual thirds. You don't have to do it, for a half hour or anything like that, but starting to get ourselves familiar with what is our capacity, feeling the strengthening of the muscles inside of the chest cavity and the lungs themselves, and their ability to express and expel. Yeah? We'll work on a different type of breath also later in the week with a little bit of diaphragmatic power that might start to aid us in the cough, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Hands to the heart center if you wish to join. All that is light in me recognizes and salutes all of the love and light in you. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. I'm deeply grateful to share my practice of yoga with you. I'm hoping that you're finding some value in developing a practice at home for yourself on your journey. We've been donation-based in the Lansing area community for more than 11 years now, and we are deeply grateful to be able to be sustained in this way and to be able to serve in this way. If it's in your heart or your pocket to be able to provide any donation, feel free, paypal.me/justbeyoga, or go to our website. Share anything, any of the blogs, any videos, anything that you share is a way of you paying it forward. Thank you. Namaste. And as always, please drop us a line. Maybe type it into the comment here. Is there something that you want to practice more of? Something that you're starting to deepen your knowledge of in your practice of your yoga, or that you wish to deepen? We want to hear back and be as interactive as we can with all of you. All right. Peace, everyone. Thank you so much. It's probably Rox who's still here. I'll betcha. I hope. How about that? Please check us out on demand as well. You don't have to hit us up live at 10:30. All right. Be well. Go forth and do great things.